Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today's video we will be recapping Season 1 and 2 and snippets of Season 3. It's one of my favorite shows I love to watch, and I've been watched it so many times. And if you've never seen it before, I highly recommend it. It's one of my all-time favorites. Season 1 has 7 episodes. Belly, Laurel, and Stephen Conklin arrive at the cousins' beach house, where the Fishers live: Jeremiah, Jer, Conrad, Connie, and Susanna Beck Fisher. Bonfire party on beach. Belly meets Cameron Cam. Debutante ball. Buying a debutante dress. Debutante tea. Laurel's book signing. Cleveland Castillo. Conrad, Stephen, and Jeremiah crash Belly's date with Cameron Cam. Cam drives her home and they kiss. Stephen sneaks out to see Shayla on the beach. Belly's 16th birthday party. Belly and Jeremiah pick Taylor up in Cousins Beach. Susanna hosts dinner. The girls go to Nicole's party. Stephen and Taylor kiss at Belly's party. Belly catches Taylor and Stephen kissing, but are caught by Belly. Rift between Belly and Taylor. Cam awaits invite to Deb Ball. Belly finds out Conrad bought her a present but never gave it to her. Belly and Taylor make up before she leaves town. The kids prepare for Susanna's big 4th of July party. Belly and Stephen's father attends with his new girlfriend, but Jeremiah and Conrad learn their father won't make it to the party. Belly drinks too many margaritas. She tells Shayla about Stephen's kiss with Taylor, causing Shayla to tell Stephen they're not together. Shayla and Stephen make up. Belly teases Conrad in the shower, tells him she knows about his present. Laurel and Susanna fight. Laurel goes to the bar in Cleveland and her hook up. Belly is sober, apologizes to Conrad, and they almost kiss, but is interrupted by Jeremiah. Susanna and Laurel go to the dive bar to reminisce. Susanna hooks up with a stranger. Laurel and Cleveland get closer. Belly breaks up with Cameron Cam and wonders if she picked the wrong Fisher brother. Conrad rejects Belly, and Belly says she's done waiting for Conrad. Sharing a midnight swim with Jeremiah, he reveals his love for Belly, and they share a kiss. Beach volleyball fundraiser. Belly is determined to win. Taylor fakes injury to help out Jeremiah. Cleveland and Conrad talk boating. Belly and Taylor hang out with Nicole on her dad's boat. Susanna tells Conrad to be Belly's escort to the Deb Ball. Belly and Taylor are swimming with Nicole and others. Conrad texts Belly, and Nicole and the other girls see it. Leave Belly and Taylor naked at the ocean, taking everything with them. Nicole and Conrad break up. Conrad and Jeremiah come and pick them up. Belly goes with Jeremiah. They kiss in this car. Day of Deb Ball. Belly is going to Deb Ball with Jeremiah. Susanna and Laurel buy Belly's dress she wanted. Stephen lost all his money in a poker game. He can't afford a tux. Shayla lets him borrow her dad's tux. Jeremiah disappears, finding out Susanna's cancer through emails. Conrad takes Jeremiah's place and dances with Belly. After dance, Jeremiah confronts Conrad about hiding their mom's cancer from him the whole summer. Belly and Stephen find out about Susanna's cancer. Susanna agrees to treatment. Conrad and Belly kiss on the beach. Season 2 has 8 episodes. Susanna's cancer worsening means Jeremiah and Conrad come to terms with her looming death in their conflict over Belly. Belly wants to resolve conflict between the brothers. Valedictorian Stephen seems to act strong after his graduation. Laurel's book about their friendship with Susanna, important trip to New York to promote it. She's reluctant to mate. Conrad disappears after Susanna's funeral, an argument with Belly. Belly and Jeremiah search for Conrad to resolve conflict between them all. Jeremiah and Conrad learn their Aunt Julia plans to sell their summer beach house. Their plan to keep the house and the family faces disheartening obstacles. Summer beach house up for sale. Belly, Jeremiah, and Conrad will leave no stone unturned to let it slip away easily. Conrad works on secret plan. Belly and Jeremiah try a more direct route. Being in cousins with Jeremiah and Conrad means Belly back can't escape painful memories of the past year. Conrad's panic attack on the beach, Stephen comes to rescue. Aunt Julia announced summer beach house is for sale. The kids crash it. Belly, Jeremiah, Conrad, Stephen, Sky, and Taylor go to the State Farm. Laurel book launch. Susanna's summer house is empty. Jeremiah, Jer, Conrad, Connie, Cameron, Cam, Taylor, Sky, and Belly spends the night at the country club. They all split up to find food and places to sleep. Stephen and Taylor dance together in the ballroom. Jeremiah reveals jealousy Conrad and Belly relationship. Conrad attempts to save summer beach house. They sleep on golf course. Belly and Taylor talk about love interests. House sale, done deal. Belly, Sky, Taylor, Stephen, Jeremiah, Jer, and Conrad, Connie throw a farewell party for the summer beach house. Belly's mom shows up after Belly drunk calls her. Laurel slaps Belly. Laurel and Belly apologize. Taylor and Stephen kiss goodbye. She takes Stephen's car. Laurel convinces Aunt Julia to keep the summer beach house because there were so many memories made there. Aunt Julia agrees to keep the summer beach house. Laurel allows Belly and Stephen to stay to help Conrad study. Stephen, Jeremiah, Jer, and Belly help Conrad study to get into Stanford. Laurel gives the kids coffee. Jeremiah, Stephen, and Conrad throw Belly in the pool and all jump in. Conrad promises Laurel they'll bring Belly back. Laurel and Stephen head back. Conrad, Jeremiah, and Belly hit the road. Conrad does well on his test. Jeremiah and Belly kiss. Conrad refuses to go with them, decides to go with them. There's a storm that delays them on their way back. Jeremiah and Conrad get Belly's favorite snacks at gas station and argue about which candy she likes, Swedish Fish or Sour Patch. They stay the night at the hotel. Jeremiah tells Conrad to either let Belly go or tell her his true feelings. Conrad tells Belly she doesn't feel the same. Conrad leaves in the morning. Jeremiah and Belly kiss and brings her breakfast. They hit the road. Belly and Jeremiah meet up at her volleyball practice with Stephen and Taylor. Jeremiah watches Belly play volleyball. Season 3 has 11 episodes. Belly and Taylor enroll at Finch, joining Jeremiah. Fast forward to Jeremiah's senior year, where he expects to graduate but can't due to small hiccup. Belly gets an opportunity to study abroad in Paris for a semester but hesitates due to Jeremiah's bad news. Taylor and Stephen have broken up and are in new relationships with Mia and Davis and are secretly hooking up after a chance to encounter in New York. Conrad reminisces to Agnes about his first love. Belly overhears a girl from Taylor's sorority, Lacey, bragging about hooking up with Jeremiah in Cabo over spring break. Belly confronts Jeremiah about it. Belly tries to make sense of Jeremiah's portrayal, while Jeremiah anguishes over the prospect of losing Belly. Taylor and Stephen are caught in the middle and also have their own disagreement. Stephen gets in a car crash after Taylor gets out of the car. After accepting that Jeremiah has reason to believe they were broken up, and he swears to never stray again, Belly reconciles with Jeremiah and accepts his marriage proposal. Conrad faces a professional crisis and consequences as well, while deciding he can't be a part of Susanna's memorial in Cousins and that Jeremiah should give its dedication speech. Stephen continues recovering from car crash while Stephen and Taylor try to sort out their feelings for each other. Belly and Jeremiah consider waiting to announce their engagement. They agree to announce it after the dedication of Susanna's memorial garden in Cousins. Conrad wasn't going to attend the ceremony until his friend Agnes convinces him to go for closure. Laurel and John agree their night together should remain an isolated encounter. After the ceremony, Jeremiah and Belly engagement announcement doesn't exactly go over well with either of their families. The negative reaction to the engagement announcement spoils some of Belly's joy in turning 21. Jeremiah does his best to remove some of the sting with a special gift. Laurel refuses to help Belly shop for a wedding dress. Stephen tells Taylor about her mom's financial situation, and it's worse than suspected. Taylor offers to pay the debt and help her mom resurrect the shop. Laurel and John admit their marriage failed because she was married too young. Jeremiah's internship at Adam's firm includes having to overcome colleagues who see him as just a Nepo baby. Memories of Susanna bring Belly to tears, knowing both her parents reject her wedding plans and Susanna isn't there for her. Conrad overhears Belly. He puts his departure plans on pause to support her and tells her he's going to be Jeremiah's best man. Jeremiah is stuck working late at Adam's firm. Conrad reluctantly agrees to help Belly begin her wedding prep, though he wrestles with reminiscing back to when they were together. Jeremiah discovers a critical financial error involving the company the firm wants to acquire, leading a proud Adam to show support for Jeremiah and Belly's wedding intentions and offers to pay for the wedding if it's at the country club. Belly becomes discouraged at the expensive costs of wedding. Coincidentally, planning to attend the same conference, Stephen and Denise take a train to New York together and bond over video games and their career goals. Jeremiah finally makes it to Cousins for the weekend and discovers Belly isn't thrilled by his news about Adam. Conrad struggles to keep his remorse over losing Belly. Belly faces mounting pressure as her wedding to Jeremiah Fisher approaches. While staying with Adam, who's already sick of her living there, Belly feels increasingly out of place and overwhelmed by the lavish wedding plans. Belly and Jeremiah look for apartments together, but their search is hindered by Jeremiah's credit card debt. Back in Cousins, Belly tours the country club and is overwhelmed with how much bigger the wedding has become. Conrad secretly meets with Laurel and convinces her to come support Belly. At bridal shower, Belly realizes she incorrectly answered a trivia question about Jeremiah's first dog, Rosie, mistaking Jeremiah for Conrad, which really seems to throw her. The next day at Summer Beach House, Conrad cuts his leg surfing. After Belly dresses the wound in comfort, she gives in to her feelings and almost kisses him before he walks away, leaving her shaken. There's some tension between Belly and Conrad while they clean the Summer Beach House together in preparation of everyone's arrival. Laurel is surprised and upset to learn Adam brought Kaylee to Cousins Beach for the wedding. Taylor agrees to be Stephen's wingman when he shows up at Cousins with Denise and follows through by nudging Denise to make a move. Belly and Jeremiah's bachelor/bachelorette night with their friends, and Belly confirms that it was Conrad who convinced her mom to be a part of the wedding. Conrad learns about Jeremiah's spring break incident. Conrad confesses to Belly his feelings about her on the beach and confronting her about defending Jeremiah's infidelity. Belly rebuffs him, insisting there's nothing between Belly and Conrad anymore. Belly breaks down and cries. Taylor confronts Conrad on what he said to Belly on the beach. The night before wedding, Stephen and Denise kiss, but both agree to be friends. Belly tells Jeremiah about Conrad confessing his feelings. The next morning, Jeremiah is missing and Belly receives her wedding day letter from Susanna. Laurel gives to her. Jeremiah, after being found by Conrad in Susanna's memorial garden, and Jeremiah punches him and disowns him as a brother. Conrad learns the letter Susanna wrote for Jeremiah was actually addressed to him. Taylor questions Belly on whether she's marrying Jeremiah for the right reasons. Conrad later visits Belly and apologizes for everything before telling her their time together was worth it and promising to leave Belly and Jeremiah alone. Jeremiah confronts Belly about her feelings and reveals he knows about Christmas, forcing her to admit she still loves Conrad. The wedding is called off and Belly spontaneously decides to go to Paris, seeing Conrad at the airport before she boards her flight. Belly chooses not to approach Conrad at the airport and boards her flight to Paris. Conrad learns the wedding was called off and returns to Cousins for Jeremiah, but was told to stay away from Jeremiah from Taylor and Stephen. Jeremiah drowns his sorrow and waits for Belly to call. Stephen and Taylor admit they still have feelings for each other and decide to give their relationship another shot. In Paris, Belly is informed that there is no room for her in the exchange program and is devastated. Belly's backpack gets stolen, containing her passport and engagement ring. While tracking it down, Belly encounters and befriends a group of Parsians who encourage Belly to stay back in the city. Belly calls Jeremiah, who is angry to learn that she is not returning. A confrontation between the brothers leads Conrad to go back to California. Belly chooses to stay in Paris, taking 2 jobs to support herself while continuing online. Taylor and Stephen move in together and host a combined Thanksgiving dinner with Jeremiah. After finding out that Jeremiah has lied about going back to college, Adam financially cuts him off, and Denise agrees to let Jeremiah temporarily stay with her. Belly decides not to go home for Christmas, and Conrad begins to send Belly written letters. Stephen quits his job to work full-time on his startup with Denise. Jeremiah is invited to Christmas dinner by Laurel, but finds he is unable to enter the summer beach house and leaves after Laurel comforts him. Taylor visits Belly in Paris for New Year's and discovers Conrad has been writing to Belly, but Belly reassures she is not writing back. Belly and Benito share a New Year's Eve kiss and begin casually dating. After a friend offers their apartment, Belly chooses to remain in Paris another year. On the 5-year anniversary of Susanna's death, Jeremiah and Conrad accidentally run into each other at their mom's grave. After an argument, the two reconcile, and Jeremiah tells Conrad to pursue Belly. Conrad buys a plane ticket to visit Paris. Conrad visits Paris on his way to a conference in Brussels to meet Belly for her birthday. Despite an awkward interaction, they spend the day together as Belly shows Conrad around Paris. Belly invites Conrad to a birthday dinner with her friends. Belly and Conrad talk about their past and spend a romantic night together. Belly feels guilty about Susanna's death, and the tension between Jeremiah and Conrad tries to distance herself the next morning. Conrad insists his love is for real for Belly, not just tied to grief, and leaves her for the train. Belly, realizing she truly loves Conrad and deserves happiness, so Belly chases after Conrad. Belly shows Conrad his infinity necklace around her neck, and they reunite with a kiss. Jeremiah begins to move on with his culinary career and shares a passionate kiss with Denise. Stephen and Taylor decide on a future together in San Francisco for Stephen's career development, while Laurel, John Conklin, and Adam Fisher settle into new dynamics. Fast forward, Belly and Conrad return to cousins at the summer beach house.